Welcome back to It Tastes Like Burning. This Matt.
This is Jesse.
I forgot where the hell I was at there. It's all right. We'll just keep going.
Well, it's because we're in a foreign location. We're back in Studio A.
Where is this place?
Yeah, it's Studio A.
It's odd. It's weird. If you ever feel like reaching out to us, find us on ittasteslikeburningcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon, where we have merch, and we're building our winter line at this time right now.
Yeah.
Expect to see fuzzy bandoliers, baklavas, and Arzetta cake.
Yeah, I was so shocked though. I made a custom shirt for the SFFMA 150th where we just got through doing,
Right.
that said, "I listened to these idiots live at the 250th whatever SFFMA thing," and nobody bought one. I'm pretty disappointed.
Oh,
Maybe they don't think we're idiots.
maybe. We just need to do better marketing.
Yeah, that's true. We do, for a guy that teaches a marketing class, I do not do very good at marketing sometimes.
Marketing your own stuff. So, we're going to talk about another trip that we took. Where'd we go?
We went to Arlington, Virginia.
What did we do in Arlington, Virginia? Or first off, while in Arlington, Virginia, what were we specifically there for?
Well, we were specifically there for the National Volunteer Fire Council's 50th anniversary
Yep.
training summit.
Yep. And what were you doing there?
I was teaching.
What particular class?
So Kim Hilsenbeck and I teach a fire department marketing class, and that's what we were there to do. So early this year, they had their call for presenters. I mentioned to Kim, hey, we should think about doing that, and lo and behold, we got in.
Yep.
I consider it pretty much an honor to get to do something like that. It's definitely not your normal everyday thing, and you have to have kind of a class or a program that's not the everyday thing, right?
Right.
It's got to be something a little bit different, special. It's kind of like going to teach at FDIC, maybe not on the same scale, obviously, but they're looking for that new and unique and different perspective and information that's hard to get or something like that.
Now, the other thing that I'll add to this is that not only is it hard to actually get a speaker spot there, it's kind of a one and done type of event.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very rarely will they cycle through a speaker again.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll be back next year to do, like, I think it takes a new class and something new, and it's got to be intriguing and exciting, and
Oh.
I don't see that they want to recycle too much content,
No.
which is good.
Is this your first MVFC?
The first time, yeah, first time going, and oddly enough, got to teach at the first one I ever went to. Have a feeling I'll be at a few more down the road.
What how many people were at this?
I think it was just a couple hundred.
Yeah. Yeah. Realistically, it was pretty small.
Pretty small conference summit. They don't bill it to be a huge thing.
Right.
It is very, very niche, very small, but the information is kept out there for a while, so people that weren't there can access some of the, they have access to our slideshows, they have information about it.
Right.
There's an opportunity for people that weren't there to maybe get that information, or for the people that were there to turn around and reteach that information to their own department or whatever.
Right. I personally thought that there's always going to be classes that you're not interested in taking. But I think I was surprised at how many days it was hard to have to choose on which one do you want to attend,
Yeah.
because the quality of instructor and just speaker was really high on this one, and was a really good selection. The other thing that I didn't notice it until day two. There was another department, uh, kind of a little sister department to us, that just happened to be there at the same time we were, and we didn't really find out about that until, like, I don't know, a week before we went, something
Yeah.
like that. And they went there with three, and all three of them took like little different, I don't want to call it career paths, but like
Well,
they
there was
had
track.
very specific
Yeah.
tracks that people could take. So if you were on the marketing, the recruiting, the retention, the membership, whatever track, then each each segment had a specific class for you to go to. They had a kind of
Leadership track.
leadership and management track, and then what the hell was the third one? There,
The mental health. So there
mental
was a
health.
leadership, a mental health, and then a recruiting and retention track. So those were the three tracks. And so basically every time slot, there was at least those three opportunities, an opportunity for one of those style classes in every time slot. And I think there was a couple of time slots where there was four classes in
Right.
there, but uh, it was an either or on something. Uh, we taught to a full room, very full room, and not a small room. I mean, pretty good sized room. So
Yeah, I would say probably the absolute smallest class that I had was maybe 35,
yeah,
possibly 40,
yeah,
and that would have been small. I can tell you that basically every chair in that room was full.
yeah.
Uh,
Whereas we probably had the same 45-ish, 50 people, but the room was bigger, so they were spread out more.
mhm,
Uh, but I in a conference where there's at least 3 classes going on at the same time and there's 200 attendees, 50-ish people per class is what it is, right? That's
right.
that's the number because there's just some that are doing other things during some of those time frames and whatnot, and not everybody can go to the same class. So I thought it was excellent. I thought it was very well ran. Uh, a shout out to the staff over there at NBFC for doing a fantastic job with that event.
Yeah, no, they handled it really, really well. A lot of little itty bitty details that people normally wouldn't notice, uh, were very, very well accounted for, taken into consideration, and it was very well thought out. It was definitely uh, more of a meet and greet type of event. They did a fantastic job of setting up things to cause that to happen.
Hmm.
Really appreciate that. Uh, the food and meals were very good, and considerate and appropriately
Existent.
proportioned. Um, the even kind of the quote unquote after hours activity,
Yeah.
which for them, I don't think they do that often. I think this was just kind of a special one-off thing, and it was
Oh, with the
because of our
tour and stuff.
location. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the trolley tour was just an because it was a late minute ad.
Mhm.
I think that was just one of those things where, hey, we have the opportunity to do this. Let's just take the opportunity that's there. I'm appreciative of it. It was great. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No, the venue was nice. The hotel rate was very adequate. The conference was a decent price. Uh no, there was a 500 little things that they did right, that all make for a very, very enjoyable conference. The next one that's coming up just a hair closer to us, in Albuquerque, uh, and I've actually already put it in my schedule, so I'll probably go to NBFC next year.
yeah, I put it in my calendar just as a placeholder to hopefully go. Uh, it's worth it. I mean, it was totally worth it. I think the uniqueness of Arlington and that experience that we got to have there is going to be pretty hard to compete with in the old memories.
Yeah.
Because we did get to do some extracurricular fun things while we were there, uh, and go see some sights and do some stuff. But that doesn't mean there's not the opportunity for some of that in Albuquerque.
No. Probably what I would tell anyone to do on a trip like that in the future is actually get there 2 days early
Yeah, and get all that out of your system.
so that you actually have 1 full day to actually go do all the touristy crap. Uh, and if you're really thinking, maybe even depart 2 days later so that after the conference you have 1 full day to just kinda mill around and do your thing. I would argue, and I've done a ton of traveling and I've done some crash, like, spontaneous vacation crap before, but that might even rival, like, the level of my touring because we got there the first night and we had a tour of the Capitol. Uh, Pro tip, don't mess with Capitol Police at closing, just don't. Um, that was Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday evening.
Friday, uh yeah, Friday was kind of a social night. We had a social evening that night. But
There was a social event on Thursday that we skipped to go do the
to
Capitol
go to
tour,
the Capitol.
which is I mean,
Now I know,
anybody. So we did get uh, a Congress critter to give set this tour up for us. It was a just our group. It wasn't a big
yeah,
everybody goes at
and
one
I don't
time.
care if he had the White House dinner or not. He had It Tastes Like Burning podcast in town.
Yeah,
And his poor staff, who was fantastic,
she's
Sarah
great.
was
Yeah.
fantastic. To her credit, uh, and she truly did a solid in the fact that she was not planning on having to do this, and I think she kind of found out about 3 minutes before she had to do it.
It was when she started texting me earlier in the day.
Okay, so she had at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, uh, she was fantastic. Thank you to our congressman that took us in and talked to us for a few minutes because we know he was exceedingly busy and he was originally going to do the tour, but then he literally got side kidnapped to go do a White House dinner, uh, which
Which is
unfortunately,
even more awesome is he's not our congressman,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the kicker. Yeah, not even close to our state.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just somebody that we had a connection to make that happen.
yeah,
And definitely cool.
and then Friday, I have to admit, I ducked out on Jesse's and Kim's class. Uh, and it's not because there wasn't anything to learn there.
But you've literally stood in for Kim at one point to teach her portion of this class.
And I've probably been to it conservatively 7 times.
Right.
Uh, so I ducked out of there with family and we shot up to the National Ball and did a bunch of touristy stuff Friday afternoon. Came back, social hour again. Uh, and then Saturday we had kind of the closing of the conference. Um, and then we had our tour Saturday evening,
Yeah.
3-hour tour,
You should
Washington,
have
DC.
experienced the disappointment in my wife when she learned that the National Mall was not a shopping center.
My oddly enough, my family member needed that explained to him also. I was I don't know if it's funny or aggravating. Um I'll just skip that because it is. It's like, here's a pro tip to anyone visiting Washington. I intentionally made sure that we left Washington late, so we had a late flight back Sunday night, but we spent all day in Washington Sunday. And if you have the chance, don't forget to schedule your tickets, but go to the International Spy Museum. That was very much worth it.
I was intrigued about that. Did you learn about rice and pellets and
They had everything in there.
yeah, it was the cane there.
Yes, the
Excellent.
bullet cane, a poison cane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had James Bond's Aston Martin in there.
Ah, excellent.
Hmm. Yeah. There's so much crap in that museum. Um, we spent, God, I don't know, 4 hours there, 4.5, and barely got through it. Yeah, it was a great trip. Uh, but it was, I mean, non-stop the entire time.
Hmm.
The other thing that was impressive was the bar tab.
Yeah, no, that was all there.
Twice, 3 times, particularly twice.
Yeah, it was all there.
But
It was
worth every freaking nickel.
yeah. That and the ex-CIA director was hanging around our group. That was also awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. He really wasn't, but I kept telling him that just to make him feel weird.
Well, I was hoping that he'd be able to get us into the Pentagon so we could lick the nuclear reactor under
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he said that that was off limits this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a problem in Washington.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
the
because we were a week before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So,
So everything was really screwed up when we were there. Lots of stuff was closed. Lots of stuff was open though. Uh, on that Friday I was talking about, we were able to see the White House from about a half a mile away and through an armored fence with a Belgian Malinois that was probably ready to kill all of us. So
yeah. We but I tell you, I would have not wanted to have been there on the 4th.
no,
Like, I think we got to see kind of what was gonna happen on the 4th and have some idea of what it was gonna be like.
the thing they did on Washington Monument,
That was awesome. That was actually really cool
that was really awesome.
I
It Guys, you need to travel.
yeah.
Jesse fired up conversations with, oh hell, Oklahoma, Vermont, Indiana, New York. No, I had New
Yeah, I
York.
had a New York guy too.
Uh,
Kentucky,
Utah,
yeah,
Florida,
yeah,
Carolinas, South Carolina,
Tennessee,
Tennessee, Illinois.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't realize it then, but I knew who that lady was, but we didn't do a introduction, and I didn't realize who she was that we were talking about, talking that had breakfast with us that morning from Illinois.
Was she a speaker?
No, no.
Who is she?
Uh, Kate Meeker, I think is her name. She's on the forum.
Oh, okay.
I know her from the forum.
All right. We had some technical difficulties there. I was asking about Kate being an ambassador for MVFC.
And I said I don't remember. I
Okay.
know she's on there and she may be an ambassador, but I'm not 100% sure.
The cool thing about a conference like this is that you have a truly wide variety of departments, personalities, perspective, governments, like on and on. It's a pretty comprehensive list of different. Um, one of the nights we were talking to one of the speakers out of Oklahoma City. His class was fantastic,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, call him out. Dane y'all.
Daniel, yeah. He did.
red light, blue light, gunfight.
fist fight or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's on scene, size up, and safety considerations to be taken by first responders. Um, I do think it's funny. All the presenters have classes that are longer than an hour and a half.
Yes.
Um,
And they're all shrinking them to
and
fit.
they're all trying to figure out how to make a 4 or 8 hour class an hour and a half long. How'd you guys tackle that? Was that okay?
We cut 2 sections out
Okay.
and basically sped through some of it. It it and it happens, and it is what it is. But Kim starts out, and then I come in, and we bounce back and forth in some sections. And her section kind of grew a little bit, just because of all the interaction with the students, and it ended up because of the interactions taking longer. I had to kind of rush my part of it, uh, from what would normally be to yeah. She got the bulk of the hour, and I got the half. Uh, so we're
Okay.
typically about 45 minute would be a more consistent time that we do that in. But it was just the student interactions were dictating that we stopped and kind of work
Yeah.
through some of
Have a
those things, have a
conversation.
conversation, and work through some of those things because they were important things. And
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. It's just how it is and the way it worked out. But uh, just just meant it was rushed a little bit. If it would have been a 2-hour time slot, we'd have been perfect
Right.
uh,
In the slot.
in the slot.
So in the future, how do you find out more about MVFC and
MVFC.org.
okay?
Uh, they're a very good website. Got lots of stuff on there. There's a lot of training opportunities there. There's classes that you can just take anytime. There's webinars that happen all the time that are scheduled for different topics and different conversations. Uh, look for me to be involved in some of those going forward. That is kind of a part of what getting to be an instructor there entails down the road is you get the invitation to be a part of some of those other discussions where it's pertinent and you have information and knowledge for. So that'll be fun and interesting.
Is the training summit the only thing MVFC does?
No, so they have several different things happening throughout the year. They don't do their business meetings and their committee meetings and all that stuff at the same time as the training summit. That happens at different times throughout the year where their committees are working on different projects and different things that they're working to get out there. Those things happen spread out more throughout the year and not during the conference. Uh, and a lot of it, I learned a lot of this just going to this conference and
Hmm.
and engaging folks. I will tell you, I had a very interesting, and it was Saturday before I kind of stumbled into asking some questions of some folks, and I asked some very open-ended questions of some of the people that were there as students, people taking classes and whatnot. And give me a second. I asked, "What is your state association? Whatever state they were from, what's your state association like, and what does your state association do, and what role do they play in the fire service in your state?" And man, I got answers all over the place, across the board, from different people about what their state associations did. And it was very interesting to kind of, I would say, in a general sense, most people are dissatisfied with their state associations. Even the ones that they say are good, they're still to some extent on the lower side of dissatisfied. They're not satisfied yet. They may be neutral, but they're leaning to dissatisfied.
Right.
And non-scientific, right? A sample size of 1 from one guy from Indiana is not scientific by any stretch of the imagination, but uh, just interesting. And I think that obviously I'm biased because Texas is the best state in the country. Uh, the weather may not be the best, but we're the best state, right?
Our weather sucks.
But I have some biases there, but I learned that not everybody does everything the same, and
And yet the campfire somehow or another manages to
it
go
still
out.
goes out, right?
This is
I only have the
mystery.
I've been to 2 different states and their associations conventions, and that would be Texas and Louisiana. And I know one guy that's been to at least 3.
Yeah. And I forgot about that one. And I wouldn't have recognized it unless you were sitting across from me.
You're wearing the shirt.
Yeah. Good old Nebraska.
Yeah. So I know one guy that's been to 3 and I've been to 2. But I don't know a lot of people that have been to multiple states association meetings.
Yeah, that weren't there. Okay, well, shit. So I'm gonna lose one because I was there technically for work for Nebraska.
Yeah, but you were there. You watched and interacted with folks. You saw kind of what was going on.
Well, but I'm gonna defend this a little bit. Texas is a big state.
Yes.
Okay. Like particularly you, where you spend a large chunk of your life in the dead nuts center of Texas, and you had to go 1,000 miles any other direction to get to a different state. Foreign countries were closer than states that you bordered.
As I learned in high school.
So, like, that's a thing. And being able to, you're looking at that bottle longingly. Would you like some?
No, not yet.
Okay. uh, yeah, no, I enjoy the fires conventions. I do. I like talking to people. I like listening to the conversations off to the side. That didn't really happen at MVFC. It was there, but it wasn't like the other conventions, 2 conventions I've been to.
Yeah. Yes and no. There were those conversations, but I think we were new and obviously foreigners, right? So I don't think we got invited into a lot of those circles, but if you breached a conversation about something, people would talk to you about
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, there's one conversation where it was after a class. I had intentionally grabbed this guy to talk to him. And we ended up talking for quite a while. Um, I would talk more about it, but it was kind of a serious subject matter class, and it was a serious subject that we were discussing out in the hallway. So
Yeah.
it wasn't kind of like one of those insight things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's that. I'm from Texas, he's from Utah, and 3 minutes later, we're having this talk. And 3 minutes, hell, we're 12 seconds in. And I'm like, we don't have much time. You need someone not from your organization to hear someone say this to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What part of Utah?
Ooh, Salt Lake, Provo,
Okay.
that area.
No. And there was some, you know, I, there was some folks that have a voice in the fire service. I'm not going to say that there's some celebrities, right? That's not what any of these people. That's not what we are. That's not what any of these people are. But there were some people with some voices, like Tom Merrill,
Yeah. Legacy guys.
legacy guys, right? And opportunity to just visit with them and have conversations. Ah, super cool to realize that some of those guys and what they've done and what their platform is that they're kind of out there speaking on is so much similar to everything that you're doing or your department's dealing with and drawing those correlations. What was the other guy that was wasn't Tom, but there was another guy, the health guy that came to Granbury.
Oh, oh, Jesus Christ.
I can't remember his name. But his story was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke at a lunch, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, his story was fantastic about what uh made him go down the path he went down and it's his definitely his story to tell, but he he and some guys got trapped in a fire and he kind of had some realizations that, hey, I've got to be better than what I am because this literally can kill me. And
Yeah. The keynote speaker from New York City,
oh yeah,
that was good.
yeah,
Yeah. It is just we get a lot of people that listen to this from a lot of different places. Do not hesitate to reach out and talk to different people.
yeah,
Don't be afraid to go to stuff. Don't be afraid to participate. Don't don't sit there and make the argument, well, it's expensive because maybe MVFC has a first time traveler grant program.
right. I would also tell you so much of the good meat and potatoes information is available there for consumption by members through the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand it's the NVFC, but I don't think they're gonna say, "Hey, dude from Australia, we don't want your money."
Yeah. Or guy from Germany
Yeah,
or lady from Austria or France. Like,
yeah, yeah, they'll gladly let you in the
oh, there we go. That's what we need to do next. We need to go to an
UFC,
international firefighters convention.
the UFC. Wait a minute, that's already something.
We could have went if we went the week before. Oddly enough,
Y
same
all
place.
same place. The UVFC?
Mhm. Yeah. Uh yeah, maybe that's what we need to look at next. There you go. Someone needs to find a place for Jesse and Kim to teach at.
Yeah, well, we picked that up. So, uh, very early, but we're looking to teach the marketing class in Louisiana this next year, so a year from this August, so August 27. We were also approached to do the podcast again in Louisiana in August of 27. So, uh, may be an opportunity for us to go back there. I also, pitched the old podcast to the, MVFC, but not as a training thing, uh,
Yeah, no,
as an entertainment thing.
yeah, I think I could see that actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, I don't and we had this conversation post SFFMA, like, I enjoy going and doing that, and our guests that we had on that episode were absolutely phenomenal, like, that episode, and if you haven't listened to the 2026 SFFMA 150th episode, right? Uh, go listen to that because it was a great conversation. It was very enlightening. It was good. And but I don't know that it should take classroom time. I think we're better off in a common area, open where people can come and go and uh
Yeah, trade floor or
yeah, or
reception
in a
hall type
lobby.
thing and lobby. arguably the reception hour.
Yeah. Like,
Um, and I
I think,
think there's a lot of potential with something like that.
yeah, I think it's really neat that one, that people are interested. I think that a lot of folks uh don't go because they want to go do something else that's training and they know that they can listen to it later.
Right. Well, and that's preferable
Right.
to
Yeah.
have them do that. So just smelling the rose real quick. There's a lot of really good instructors, and we always manage to be paired off with the podcast at the same damn time.
As juggernauts,
Yeah. And
literally.
it's like, I feel guilty doing it.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd much rather have been in a couple of those other classes
Hmm.
at that time. Like, just me personally, I would have sat in James Longbreak's class, or Samson DeSessa's class, or there was, I think, 3 other leadership kinda classes happening in the same time slot, and any one of those 3 would have been better to go to than ours.
Right. What do you think SFFMA needs to emulate from MBFC?
Um, I I liked the schedule.
Hmm.
I did like the schedule, uh, but realizing that that schedule doesn't allow for all the other things that SFFMA is trying to accomplish in that time frame. But I'm open and wondering if those things don't happen like bookend kind of thing, right? Where your actual training and trade show and some of that stuff doesn't get interfered with the rest of the conference. Just a takeaway I had. The one thing that I thought was really good was so there was a social hour, I guess that was Friday night,
Yeah.
where they had beer and wine and whatnot. Like, you could get tickets to go have a beverage, and they gave all the tickets to the vendors. So if you wanted a ticket, you had to go talk to a vendor
Yeah.
to get a ticket. Luckily, I knew some of the vendors, and it was real easy to walk over and just ask if I was cool enough to have one, uh, just because I already knew the people. So that was easy for me because it was the ladies from Adapt, so I knew them well enough that I could just walk over. They know me by name, I know them by name. It wasn't a big deal. Uh, but it forced people to go talk to those vendors
Yeah.
to get that deal, and I think that's a neat little idea that
I can assure you that is one thing that conferences as a whole really need to actually focus on, is who the hell actually is paying for that conference to happen. And you need to figure out how to actually have some love for those companies that are supporting you. And we don't need to reinvent a time machine here and solve quantum mechanics to force those interactions and it be cheap or raw.
yeah,
You can literally do minute little things to significantly support vendors.
yeah.
Uh, and I assure you, the vendors will be more than interested in helping you again in the future if you help just do a little bit to help take
And
care of them.
oddly enough, something as simple as that, like, we had tickets for a beer from SFFMA for that, for one of those evenings like that, and, it would have been just as easy to pass those same tickets out to the vendors and let them distribute them.
Mhm.
oddly enough, I think you would do better like that because how many people so we'll pick on them a little bit. We get our program, nice printed program of the conference for SFFMA, and stapled inside of one of the pages is these 2 tickets with no explanation of what either one of them does. So you have no clue what they're for,
Yeah. Are they
but
for a raffle or
at least you
is that
left
your
the
meal?
yeah, at least you left the book in the hotel room across the street. So when you found out what it was for, you had to go across the street to go get the stupid tickets that you didn't have. One of them was for a meal, and one of them was for a drink, and at 2 different times. But you had no way to know this, and I think that's interesting. I also know that they had an app for the conference, but I never did it. I never used it for the MBFC conference. There was an app that gave you schedules and access to uh, the PowerPoints and instructor bios and sites to see and places to eat and a bunch of stuff like that. And I never downloaded it and did it because frankly I already had everything that I was going to do kind of already laid out and knew what it was.
Speaking of the digital age, the one thing that I wish SFFMA would pick up, but it's all these conferences, is uh, like MVFC where they had their career track.
Yep.
It'd be great if they would digitize and live stream everything at the same time, but at least maybe have a recruiting, retention, and fire department development track, and all of those are going to be broadcast, and you charge 5 or 10 or 50 bucks for organizations to member organizations to jump on there and be able to participate in the training, even though they couldn't be at the conference.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea, and I think that's something that we could see. Uh, there for those that weren't at the SFFMA conference, boy, there was some hiccups in that dude this year. There was some there was some toe stubbing happening.
Yeah, a finger did get closed in a door
Yeah, and
twice.
you know, don't not here to throw people under the bus or do anything like that, but there is room for improvement. Let's just put it that way. And
Start by not having the vendors be there at 7 a.m.
that oddly enough, some of them wanted that.
Yeah,
But
lunatic.
they're also maybe or maybe not on heroin, we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's the fact of the matter is this: there's always something to learn, always improve, figure out how to make the experience better, figure out how to always grow and develop. Um, and more importantly, always remember that the conference is for the attendees.
Yes.
That's who the conference is for.
Yeah.
It's not for the organization, it's not for the director, it's not for the president,
It's for the
it's
attendee.
for the attendees. Uh, and that sounds silly saying that, but I think that gets forgotten occasionally. So, what else you got?
Uh we've done some talking about SFFMA. So I did announce my candidacy for fourth vice president.
What does that mean?
Uh, maybe that I make poor life decisions. So what it means is that I plan on running. I
Okay.
technically am running at this moment. I
Is this a
have this.
local thing? Is this
This
a
is
regional thing?
statewide. This
Okay.
is Texas. I do have to make myself known and travel the state and go to different district conferences and also probably make some personal visits to some departments and to some individuals, and I have to campaign.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of baby shaking and hand kissing going on.
Yep, yeah. Hopefully we shake some more babies, but uh, The all culminates in June of next year during the next conference when the election actually happens, right? So I did put out an announcement. It's on my personal Facebook. If anybody's looking for that, you can probably figure out who I am. Look at that. Uh, and, it's a pretty simple platform. Do better.
Yeah.
Keep growing. Be more. There's a lot of ways to make that happen. I have some ideas of a few. Uh, but that's what it is. I have a very different perspective than most people that I know in the fire service. And I have a little bit different theory on a lot of things because I've helped and participated in things that were said to be impossible. Yeah, you're probably not going to like that one. And made the impossible possible. And have done it several times throughout my years. So I kind of look at everything as a little bit of a challenge, and let's just take the challenge and figure out the solution and make it happen and move on to the next challenge.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges that you think? At least one.
Uh,
What's one challenge we got facing us?
we have some technology stuff that we've got to hammer out uh, to get the membership more involved, the current membership more involved by becoming a go-to resource and having the ability to have mobile application uh, to where a member of the association can go to one place to get to everything they need, fire service related, whether that be uh, Forest Service information or any of that, where we're no longer going to Google to look for that. We can just go to the association's app and directly get whatever it is we're looking for. I think that's a big one. I think that um, we also have to invest some money into internalizing some of our processes and programs to where we're not dependent on outside vendors for some of the things we do. Uh, Primary example would be testing, so that we could keep more of the money that we end up charging for testing in-house to help offset the cost of all the other stuff we want.
I'll ask you. This is not a softball question.
Excellent.
So, from my perspective, I see conventions as a whole a thing of a go on the wayside in a bygone era. But the relevancy of the convention to the value and the actual work of the association, is the convention important enough to dictate how the actual association runs?
Yes, but primarily because without that convention, you're not conducting the business of the association for the most part, uh, in the current framework that it's in. I think it is a misservice to the members of the association, which is around 17,000 members, that 400-ish members make all the decisions and dictate everything, and that's who goes to the conference that gets to vote and
Hmm.
make all these decisions. I think that's a disservice to the other 16,600 members of the association. And when you put it in terms like that, right, that's a problem. Like, I don't know the answer exactly, but I think it's something that you've got to look at with an open mind to figure out how that's going to work going forward. And I think it's a stair step thing. I don't think you make giant changes to,
No, you couldn't.
yeah,
Let's just be frank.
yeah.
It's the association is too big, and I don't mean this negatively when I say it, even though I usually do. It's the traditions are very hard set in the association, and if you made giant, ultra aggressive, highly radical, highly controversial moves, I would argue that it would send ground shocks
Oh, yeah. No,
through
without
the association. That said, that doesn't mean that meaningful progress
I,
can't be made uh, without uh, also considering the attempts to modernize and preserve the convention while also enhancing the overall association for the betterment of VFDs in the state of Texas.
I think that I think the fact that of 16,000-ish, 17,000-ish members, and I wouldn't say that they're not participating in the association because they are at some level, right? Even if that participation is writing a check, they're participating to some level. I think one of the key things you have to do is you have to increase the participation of the current membership before you necessarily worry about expanding the membership. I think you've got to get more people more involved in utilizing the things that you already offer. And frankly, if you're offering things that aren't being used and no one is utilizing it, get rid of it and replace it with something else that somebody's going to use.
So, to kind of springboard off of what you're talking about, I personally know that there is a fundamental and catastrophic misunderstanding of SFFMA's members and what they actually have available to them and what
Mm,
they can participate in.
absolutely.
I think the only way to solve that is by actually growing the association. Because why would you do a gigantic education campaign when you can spend the same dollar advertising for new membership?
Yeah, I think you could do both simultaneously, but I think it's as important or more important that we figure out where we're making this gap in the communication to our current membership. I know where some of it exists at, uh, just due to bad databases, blah blah blah, misunderstanding, people that don't even know they're a member.
Mhm.
Like I bet you there's thousands.
I'll bet you it's 50%.
Uh, I was gonna say 10,000
That's
that
more than
are
50%.
members that don't know they're members.
Yeah.
Or they know they're members, but they don't have any idea what it means.
One thing that always kind of chaps me is you hear people say, for a lack of better words, what's the value of? God almighty, if I really have to get the ladle out and spoon feed you the value of the association,
Well,
you're so far off the mark. Now, here's the kicker.
but there's a good chance that those people that are asking that question also can't explain the value of their organization
To their
to
community.
their community,
Yeah.
right? Because their view of it is so narrow that they don't really understand it.
Now, I will say this. I actually think, and this goes way, way deeper than the podcast. I actually think SFFMA has a little bit of an undiagnosed and sudden symptoms of a unrecognized personality disorder that's about to pop up. It's there. It's just I don't think there's enough people to actually realize that you can be an association from, oh my God, 1876, 8?
6.
I think it's 6. Okay. And yeah, 100
150 years.
anyways, um, and be on one course for that 148 years. And then 2 years ago, things started to change for the better. I will emphatically defend it's better.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and the problem is that what SFFMA is capable of, what it can become, and what its actual value are, really don't mirror anything of that previous 150 years.
No, not at all.
Now, if you look at it from a true dissection point of view and putting it under the microscope slide by slide, we're talking 10 nanometer slices. Yeah, you probably would never be able to see
So,
the change. And I think personally, the people that have been involved with SFFMA a long time, and I'm not talking about the board, because a 7-year sample on this isn't long enough.
no, for
But
sure.
there's people that when I say that SFFMA is as valuable to them for multiple reasons as God and country, I do mean that. There are people that have that level of commitment to SFFMA. The organization means a lot to them.
Arguably, I fall in that camp, right? The organization means a lot to me.
And us, we, not them, us, need to realize that you're old, and that doesn't mean you're going to die.
No.
Like there is some really awesome, quite frankly, shit on the horizon. There's also a swirling vortex with a kraken in it
So,
somewhere out there.
yeah, you think?
So,
So, we talked earlier about different states and their associations and all that. And there was a conversation uh, not too long ago on the MBFC forum about, and that's kind of what prompted me to start asking questions at that deal. Like it was talking about kind of what happens in each individual state about different things, and I get to pound my chest and say I'm from Texas, and remember the Alamo and all that good stuff. Come and take it, and explain that our state legislature basically just funded $200 million worth of crap.
mm-hmm. 2 VFDs.
2 VFDs specifically.
Yeah. Not a VFD. VFDs.
Across the state.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking just quick story on this. Typically when Texas released grants, it was anywhere between 20 and 60 departments would be released on each grant cycle. This time, it's hundreds. The most recent grant list I had over 750 departments on it.
Right.
That's one grant cycle.
That's one grant cycle.
Not for the whole state, not all year.
One cycle.
That is one of 5 grant cycles for the year. Like, I'll tell you what, Texas, you can love it, you can hate this state, you can say whatever you want. Let's be honest, SFFMA is kicking your ass when it comes to actually representing volunteers in the state. If you're not in Texas.
And if anybody thinks that those legislatures just did that out of the goodness of their heart,
oh shit, no.
On their own accord, you're wrong, right?
Yeah, no.
No, that took political effort, and it took lobbying and maneuvering and understanding and pitching and selling the idea for that to happen.
Yeah.
And in that NBFC post that was talking about all this, and I say, hey, I'm from Texas, so it's a little different, and we're a little different. And the guy from Kansas, I believe, says, yeah, when we talked to our association about it, they said, well, we can't turn Kansas into a welfare state.
Oh my God. Well, I know where we need to go for our next.
And it's like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, so they're literally doing something with nothing. And the whole thing triggered around a budget conversation. And you got the department that their budget's $6,000, but they don't want to turn the state into a welfare state, you know.
So there's one other state that I do want to give a lot of credit to, because they have a state association. That association includes paid and volunteer together, and they're also highly, highly progressive, like Texas, in funding their fire and their VFDs. Do you know what state I'm talking about?
Uh,
It's a neighbor.
New Mexico,
Yeah,
I
it's
I
New
know they do
Mexico.
that.
New Mexico knocks it out of the park. Now, the way they did it, a little more unique, but I really have to give whatever crafty bastard came up with this plan, because it's a good way to attack it,
Yeah.
is they decided to settle on a state ISO rating, and they went around the state and funded tools, equipment, PPE, the entire state of New Mexico to meet a minimum of an ISO 2 standard, which is wow.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. Now, quick caveat to that. If you are in the absolute middle of nowhere,
It
no,
doesn't apply.
you do not have an ISO 2. That is going to apply to your local towns, municipalities, councils, village dells, and cities.
Yeah.
So, um, but that's the only other
But they
state that
still
I
have
know
a
of.
standard for those very rural areas, and it's
Oh,
not a 10, right?
no, yeah, no, it sure as hell isn't a 10. And it sure as hell isn't just uh
I wanna say it's somewhere around 5 or 6 in those very rural
I don't
areas.
know the number.
I
I
don't know
truly
the
don't
number
know the
for sure,
number.
but I know that it's well beyond what you would
Yeah,
expect.
it's way above a 9. And I assure you New Mexico has some rule.
Oh, yeah, there's parts in that New Mexico that the aliens haven't seen yet.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I so their state now, real quick, so here's the caveat in New Mexico. You get a whole new level of bureaucratic awesomeness
right.
with that, because now your little fire chief, VFD fire chief, has to continually figure out how to deal with being harangued by the state about keeping your maintenance, your testing, your inspection, your training, all your records, uh, call responses, call reports, certifications, just off the top of my head, up to date and current, and how to report that. And then ultimately write a budget to that report to make your request to the state. Like, wow, that's all there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
there's
I
also a
think
part of
there's
that where it's just a lobster in a pot.
I
That's just how you do it, and you don't know anything else, so you just do it.
I think everybody falls into that, right? And I think kind of the you and I are in very unique situations where we get to go have real conversations and listen to and try to understand what other people are doing in places that we would normally not have access to.
Like,
Wilmer, Kentucky,
yeah,
right?
Energy, Texas.
Energy, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just places all over. Whether that's Rochelle, Texas, or that's uh a parish in Louisiana or it's wherever it is. Like we're having these conversations with these people and we're learning from them and taking in what they're telling us that they're doing and what works and what doesn't. And we, because of that, we have the opportunity to formulate much grander ideas and potential for growth and development that's way beyond what your average little place in the world does. And it, I think the podcast gives us the opportunity to share that with the masses.
That's the intent.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So
To sit there and have these ridiculous
Pontificate.
conversations. Yeah, pontificate. Make the wizard on the hill sad because we're going so long now.
We have gone long.
um, but no, I do.
But the Jolly Green Giant on the hill would be happy.
You know, the funny thing is that I truly don't like talking to people unless it's an interesting conversation. It is exceedingly rare that I can't sit down with someone and not 5 minutes later be jabbering away for hours about the fire department. And I mean, we could be very, very, very different people, very different backgrounds, very different departments, and sit there and absolutely just talk. And I, for one, enjoy talking to these people because I get to learn stuff. I like the perspective. I even like hearing opinions I don't agree with. And I'll tell them occasionally, there's a handful every now and then. I'll just tell them you're wrong. Sorry. I'm just not going to, particularly when it comes to people won't do this. No one wants to do it. You're wrong. I don't want to hear it. I'll correct you on that. But beyond that, if we're talking about tactics or ideas or issues or concerns or condemnations, like praise, whatever, I'm all about it. You want to talk about trucks? Awesome. You want to talk about fire hose? Awesome. You want to talk about PPE? Now you're really talking my game. Like, and the kicker is the fire service is just, there's so many incredible resources out there. We'll have another podcast about this soon.
Well, it's not just that. There's so many incredible people.
Yeah. Especially on the volunteer side. There really is. Volunteer firefighting, probably the closest thing that I could only compare to having the absolute true mix of people would be U.S. military, because you're going to get the full spread there. That might be it, like off the top of my head, for the potential to be truly variety of your local community, much less when you stuff everyone in the same room. And I have yet to stumble into a department where everyone is a carbon copy of each other, and Daryl introduces you to his brother Daryl, and it not have this uniquely diverse spotlight on the local area, and it not be this really good thing, even if they're struggling. That's the other funny thing when you talk about the fire service. You say things like diversity or progressive, and instantly, it's
You're a weirdo.
Those are pariah words, particularly where we're at. And it's like, no, damn it, they don't mean what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, stop that. Let me show you my thesaurus.
I walk it with a lead.
And there's just, that's the cool thing about SFFMA. It has so much potential, and the potential that it has right now, wow. Boy, it really is. I would argue it's just taken the last 150 years to stretch its legs.
Yep.
Because it really can go a lot further.
Just from what in the little glimpse that I've looked into everywhere else in the US, I think that Texas does a really good job. Do I think it's perfect? Absolutely not. Is there always room for improvement? Absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, Texas is taking care of it.
Yeah. And the former SFFMA board deserves credit for it. The current board deserves credit for it. And the current candidates and the future candidates all deserve credit for it because they all see the potential of it. Now we've been long in the tooth.
Yeah, we busted that hour mark.
Before we had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
What else you got?
That's it.
All right. Closing statements, thoughts, issues, concerns.
Just keep listening. There'll be more to come.
There's more. Always is. If you ever want to talk to Jesse about his candidacy for SFFMA,
just hit us on the podcast email. I get it. I see it every one of them, so
we can figure it out.
Yeah.
ItTastesLikeBurningcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
This is Matt.
This is Jesse.
Have a good evening.